All right, starting. Let's start. Yeah, last week we did some stuff. You guys woke up, did some shopping, did some hiring of a nanny. Or I'm sorry, not a nanny, a housekeeper, kind of a someone to run the
General
place.
manager.
General manager is an excellent way to put it. Thank you, David. Yeah, the whole Mary Poppins thing was stuck in my head there. The whole theme I was trying to create there with the umbrella and everything. Yeah. So towards the end, you guys had gone over as a group to the Lucky Liar. You met with the proprietor, who gave you some information about a ship that had shipwrecked in the ice that had been coming up from Neverwinter, matching the kind of description that Verlaine had tracked down, that her one-time fellow wizard who had stolen the Professor Orb from her was thought to have been trying to make her way to where this codex could be found. And apparently the ship had run into some kind of problem and had wrecked out on the sea of moving ice. She had given you kind of a general area where her information had placed it. It does appear to be something of a kind of a sought-after item because of possible treasure or supplies or ale or whatnot that could be on it. You were treated to your meal because of your celebrity status as saviors of 4.5 towns. And or is it 5.5 towns or is it 4.5 towns now? It's four and a half towns. Yeah, it's 4.5 towns. And propelling Lonelywood to, major city status by default. When Zira regaled the patrons with an amazing performance that brought tears to eyes and cheers to lips, and kind of invigorating her and her instrument. After which you guys headed back with takeout for Verlaine and a snub to your other party members who stayed put. And that's pretty much where we left off, was you guys getting back about midday, right around lunchtime there, right in the middle of the day, back to the inn. Does that sound right? Did I miss anything?
That's about right to me.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The Ramshackle.
Shakalaka-laka.
All right.
So, we'll give Verlaine her meal and relay all that information, and how far do you think that is on the map, Filbert? Do you think we can get there today?
Where were we heading again?
It's up in the sea of moving ice. Filbert, I will.
My map, with my distances, I just have like the 10 towns. I don't have the full map marked off, I don't think.
For Icewind Dale map? I thought you guys had one of those, actually.
We had one of those.
Let me see if I can pull it up.
10 towns map. Yeah, there we go. It's the called the 10 towns map in our journals.
Yeah, I'm trying to see if I've got a 10 towns. Yeah, here we go.
Nice.
Hang on, I'll put you guys on it.
That's not the full one, because we had one that, oh, is that yours that has all the markings on it? Like the,
Yeah, there might be another one that had more calculations on it.
had like all the extra stuff that we found. Like it had like symbols, you know, of different, oh,
Yeah.
yeah, sunlight, yeah, that's one.
Where's the hole that the person made in the map?
I'm doing it. Give me a sec.
Jeez, Rebecca.
I need it now.
So demanding. There you go.
Okay, over here.
Yeah. Wow.
Let's see here.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you're throwing it across the. Yeah, exactly. It's about 29 miles.
Woof.
I would concur with that, using my pinky tip joint as a measuring scale.
So, with your animals, you can run them at speed about a mile an hour across open tundra like that.
So,
But you
3
have to-
days of 8-hour travel.
Yeah.
Yikes. Well,
We had Windzero's magic hut that we could sleep in, at least not like the other nights that we had to dig igloos every time we wanted to sleep.
Yeah. I got tired of that.
get so we could head out now, or we could sleep on it and get going. It's up to you.
Which way do we want to go? Do we want to go north around the north, up and around and over, or do we want to go back down through Tourmaline and Target and Bremen and then go up?
I think north and around may have been a little bit shorter.
Plus, if we go through Bremen, we're gonna have to talk to people.
Or we can all buy boots of flying and fly there.
Yeah, it's actually, I think it's shorter if we go north around the mare. And then head west by northwest until we hit the sea.
Did the person come back with our sled?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we had somebody delivering it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Did that happen?
You guys didn't go outside to check.
Okay.
But Windzera, being curious, I guess you go outside. Yep, out of the side door, out of the kitchen, you see that there is a small, it's kind of a shed almost, half of which it seems to have stacked and drying wood for the fire. The various fireplaces and stoves within the inn. And there is a kind of a closed off little area, and inside there you can hear the dogs inside there. And next to that, you see there the doom sled itself has been kind of put there with a kind of a tarp set up.
Our stuff's back.
Dad.
But you did pay somebody to do it, so.
Yeah. Well, let's get her all hooked up to go.
Did we finalize the person place? I thought they were coming back or something.
Oh yeah, we gotta wait for her to get back to sign the contract.
That way we're not leaving it empty again.
I would like to stop at the Shady Seder either on our way out or if we're leaving tomorrow. I'm going to go there now.
Well, I still gotta wait for the lady to come back, so can go ahead.
Anybody else want to take a walk?
Come with you.
Yeah, partnering.
No, I'm good.
Okay. So what you doing?
I'd like to go to the Shady Seder and see if he has somebody potentially interested in some items I have still.
Okay, so you're gonna go back to the Shady.
Yep.
Okay.
And Kaz is taking a walk with me.
All right.
That
I'll bring everybody there just for giggles. Since I went to the trouble. I guess you won't be able to see it though unless I drag your tokens on it. So never mind. Y'all gonna be in the dark.
I can see I'm on.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
All right. So heading back over to the make your way around to the Shady Seder. You open up the door, kind of make your way in. Everything looks very similar to the way it did before. Hang on, guys. I'm sorry. Did you need something?
The dog should go upstairs.
Oh, all right. Sorry about that.
No problem.
And you see the elderly gnome kind of perched behind his kind of counter desk up on his stool still. And he seems to be kind of manipulating kind of vials and flasks of some kind of some liquids.
Oh, good.
And he looks up. I confess I did not expect you again so soon. I haven't even reached out to make any inquiries yet.
Well, I had such a wonderful time dealing with you before. I couldn't resist.
Hours ago, yes. Well, is there something else I could do for you, perhaps?
I have some other items. If any of your patrons or alchemists or arcane practitioners might be interested in these things here. And I pull out the two basilisk's eyes and the white wormling breath weapon gland.
Interesting. Let me take a look at these, and they were harvested pretty well. I do
Thanks.
believe, take if you don't mind, I will take these to examine them in the back. If you might, please just stay here. And you see him kind of get up, and he heads over back through this way, and you hear a door opening and closing as he kind of heads to a deeper part of the building.
Okay.
Let's see.
I'm going to take a look around the room and see if there's any paintings with eyeballs or anything else that looks like we're being watched.
All right, give me an inspection. I'm sorry, investigation.
It might be the same. Hold on. Investigation would be one less, so it's a 22.
Okay. You see that there are there's two main curtain areas. The one that he went back, which is kind of partially open. Then there is you see that there's a curtain that's opened as well, like right here. That appears to be let me see. Can you see that? Hang on. I'm looking at the wrong one. Yeah, you can see that there's stairs kind of going up to a kind of it's almost almost like a loft level, not quite a full story up. You know, you can see it. That it's kind of an open area back there. And there appears to be some kind of more paraphernalia or things in the back there.
Okay.
There is a weapons rack where some of the non-magical stuff that that was in here before, but you guys didn't quite really investigate the entire space because he was there. You see there's random, like, different types of odds and ends, kind of a lot of different weapons. You see some on the tables as well. There is one, Kaz. You can't help but notice a very large battle axe, two-handed battle axe. I think it's actually a great axe. Excuse me. That's pretty well made. It almost looks like dwarvish, but it would be very, very large for a dwarf. For you, it looks like something that you would be able to use. It's similar to one that you already have. But as far as the walls are concerned, there's no adornments whatsoever. Because it is the noontime and there is some twilight outside, there is some pale light coming in through these two windows. But the only other illumination is a single torch on the wall, set up near where the gnome's stool is set. Yeah, it's very funny.
Yep.
So he comes back after a few minutes. He's like, well, yes, these appear to be very intact basilic guys. These are quite rare and very valuable. What would you be willing to part with them for?
Do I have any idea what these things are going to be worth?
What's your background again?
Guild artisan.
For cartographer, right?
Yeah, engineer, cartographer.
Give a intelligence-based survival. So your survival plus your proficiency. Are you expertise?
I am expert in that as well. So
of course you are. I would say though, at
6 plus 1 is going to be 7 to the roll.
At disadvantage though, Philbert, because you're not proficient with poison, Nurse Kit.
So you're saying that's my next step.
If you want to get into poisons.
12 plus 7 is 19.
Okay. You know that this can be made into a poison. You know that based on what he said, that it's rare. It's a pretty potent poison. So it's not easy to come by. And you kind of know what the general kind of costs of potent poisoning items are, like a flask of potent poison.
Right.
But a basilisk has other additional properties as well that you are aware of.
I think
that it could be petrified.
Like your standard poison is like 50 gold for a few applications.
Yeah, you know that this is probably close to 10 times a poison made from basilic eyes is probably closer to 10 times that.
Okay.
But this is the raw material that's going to be made into that.
Yeah. 750 for the pair.
Yes. Well, it is a bit of a long process to make it into a usable piece, something I am actually quite familiar with. And he kind of, as you look at the table, as he kind of waves at the table, you can kind of you get a sense that these vials and stuff that he's mixing up right there, might have some potency to them. So he's like, I could do 350 for the pair. As the main ingredient. That is with my expertise. I could only get, a small profit then after maybe. Very dangerous to handle. Very difficult to craft. Although I could do this.
You want to bundle up some purchases with that breath weapon?
Well,
it's equally as intact and well preserved.
But I don't know how much I can do with that. I do have a suggestion though for you. With 2 eyes, I could possibly make. I could make 2 doses. If you were to leave both of these eyes with me, I would keep one of the doses and give you another. It would. I could produce a potion that would petrify.
That might come in handy.
Now, some creatures might be able to resist the poison. There are certain things that dwarves, for instance, have a natural immunity to some of my, I should say, the elixirs that I can acquire. But that being said.
All right, so I give you both these eyes. You give me one of the 2 doses that you're going to produce.
I could do so, yes.
And that's in addition to the 300 gold we said before, right?
No, that would be in lieu of.
I see what you're doing there.
And this gland here, this is from what kind of creature?
It was the white dragon wormling. There were, I think, a pair of them that we killed, and I was able to get one of the breath weapon glands. The Berserker Cave, perhaps?
Yep. You are correct, sir.
if properly applied, I might be able to concoct an oil that you could treat, say, a sword or a dagger with, that would then convey some of the additional hurt or some of the properties of the breath, the coldness, for example. I would not be able to get many doses out of it, this being only a very small. But I could possibly get a full dose out of this. I could sell that for, and he starts to do, clicking, and he's clicking off his fingers and he's rattling numbers in his head. I could give you, say, 75 gold for this piece. I could craft something and make a fair bit of profit, perhaps, but I would be taking on a bit of risk, having to find a buyer, of course.
75 sounds right.
Okay. So do we have a deal then on these items?
So 75 gold, and I'm going to come back for a dose of rather potent stuff.
Poison. Poison of petrification.
And
It would take me
one more thing
roughly
that I have
a week
no
or
idea
so.
what it is. But a man of your talents apparently might be able to figure it out and might be able to do something with it.
Okay.
I pull out a vial of the white, shimmery, crystalline powder that I scraped off the wall of the little tiny tunnel that was coming out of the cave of where the giant moose was? Mammoth? Mammoth. We went to go save the two little kids.
No, I remember.
Okay. No, I'm making sure that I'm thinking of the right cave as well. There was a little, like, U-shaped cave that came out of one of the little passageways, and there was this powder that was in there.
Mm-hmm. He kind of holds it up, and steps in the back through the curtain, and you can hear him go off into it, and you can hear some clinking of various different things and whatnot. And he comes back out with a kind of like a magnifying glass, and he kind of taps some of this out onto a piece of glass that he holds up, and he presses it between two pieces of glass, and he holds it up to the torch and looks at it with his magnifying glass, and he puts it down, and he takes a bit of it. He lights a candle, and he takes a little pinch of it and sprinkles it into the flame to see if it interacts with how it interacts with the flame. And he looks at you and he says, "I have no idea what this is."
Well, you know what? You seem like a nice guy. Why don't you just keep it?
Very well.
Maybe you can figure something out with
And
it.
you said, and then you tell him where you got it from, and he
Yeah.
jots that down
I
into.
I explained like what it was. Like in the cave, there's looked like there was some sort of unnatural carved out cave with this residue that was on the walls.
Yep. He takes it and he puts it into a kind of like a stopper jar, writing out this kind of description that you had given him on it, and puts that into the kind of around the jar and affixes it with a twine. He goes, "Well, I will look into this. It's a good puzzle for me to kind of work out. So thank you for that."
Might be something fantastic for us.
Indeed. It
And then
might
you'll
also
keep
be
me in
mold.
mind.
Ben, is there anything else that I might be able to do for you? Or
I think that's it. Unless Kaz, you have anything?
No, I think so. We looked through his wares yesterday and I couldn't find anything, so
All right.
Well, excellent.
Well-
Then if I could take these, and he puts the two eyeballs into a jar, and he takes out. Well, it smells like some kind of alcohol, and he pours it in there, and he stoppers it off. And he reaches down and pulls out a little box, like a little strong box, and he looks through, and he pulls out two different small little satchels, and drops them on the table. One's about twice the size of the other. There you are, 75 gold as we agreed to, and kind of locks it up quickly and puts the box away.
All right. Roughly, how long is it going to take for you to make that other stuff that we talked about?
I could have, depending on how the process goes, anywhere from 10 to 15 days.
All right, then. I'll be back in some time during that time frame.
I look forward to your visit.
And head back.
Cool. All right. Okay. You find yourself back at the Ramshackle Inn.
I toss 50 gold over to Thea and tell her it's for the party funds.
Nice.
Mazel tov.
Boop. Well, did Margaret and Sally feel like that?
I'm sorry, I'm having a little trouble hearing you there.
Why? I could literally hear myself being echoed back in other people's. Did Margaret and Sally show up?
Yes.
Alright. We'll just say we signed the things and.
Yeah, and they've actually you can hear them kind of clattering around and starting to work on reorganizing and getting the kitchen area intact and getting it functional.
Well, I think we're leaving the place in capable hands. Perhaps we should. I got the dogs ready while you guys were off shopping. Are you ready to go?
I'm ready.
Oh wait, I'm almost ready. Hold on 1 second.
Do we have enough rations?
I believe so.
Yeah, we should. We haven't really.
We haven't had to use too many. We got 9 days of rations and 20 days rations for the mountain dog.
Well, we're heading out into the tundra. We should make sure that we have enough, just in case. Unless some powerful follower of Lathander has the ability to possibly create some food for us.
I do. It's really bad.
I have a seasoning pouch, so it doesn't matter.
It's not that it tastes bad, it just has no flavor.
No.
Yeah.
Just sustenance.
I suppose I could prepare that for the day.
Was that 9 days worth of rations when there was like 5 or 6 of us traveling around?
Yeah.
So let's say it was for 5. So then we would have 45 portions, which gives us now 11 days.
Okay,
How's that sound?
sounds good.
We can plan to use if we have someone that can create something for us.
I won't let you guys starve. I mean, unless we're going on a fast, you know.
No.
Somebody for goody two shoes let us starve.
Generally, that's not done, you know, when you're going to fight something. So. I know.
So what are you doing over there?
I was just playing with movies. My weasels and my giant rat.
It's echoing back from Nick's mic, and I couldn't hear what she's saying.
Say that again, Windsor. I'm going to mute my mic and see if that changes the echo.
I was just playing with my 2 weasels and my giant rat.
I thought you said you were ready to go.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, we can go now.
So are you still getting it echoed from my mic?
No.
So when I muted it. Let me check something real quick. Is that better?
Rebecca says
Let's go! Slowpokes.
that works.
Yeah, what it was that you guys were getting you weren't getting it through the Yeti, you were getting it through the webcam. Because Discord, for whatever reason, decided to default back to the webcam.
Does that sometimes.
All right, so that should have fixed it.
Yep.
I try to do that with my camera all the time. It's like, hey, we noticed there's a microphone on this camera. You want to use it? I'm like, no.
I do not.
Do not want to use it.
All right, very good. So you take a little while to load up the Doom sled to get all of your provisions on it. What is your traveling arrangement? Who's going to be where?
I'm gonna
Well, you have 2 axe beaks, yeah?
yeah.
So who's riding those?
I'm riding mine.
Mm-hmm.
Will ride his.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And then on the Doom sled.
Kaz. Zero, unless she rides her mount.
No, I don't have a mount today. I got some weasels and the giant rat that I was just talking about.
So you got 2 weasels and a giant rat, huh?
Yep. All the warmth.
So the weasels kind of are all climbed around you, and they almost look like you've got like this kind of fur kind of stole now, but it's actually the weasels kind of hanging out on your shoulder with their heads kind of nestled into your coat. The giant rat just kind of following you like a small puppy. It looks very on brand for you. Okay, so on there we've got Winzira, Kaz. You got 4 of you on the Doom sled.
No. I'm a big.
Well, unless we have NPCs with us.
We have 2 NPCs with us.
Yeah.
So yes, 4 people on the sled.
I thought Ashala was riding with Rime.
That's right. That's what it is. So you got the Doom sled, then you got Varine sled. Where you've got a Shala. Yeah, so on there you've got Kaz, Winzira, and Brendan on the Doom sled.
Mm-hmm.
You got Lashala, Verleen, and 3 kobolds. 2 zombie kobolds. Or no, wait, it's 2 and 2, excuse me. Okay, cool. So as you guys go to leave, you leave back along Mare Donlin, heading out of Lonelywood to the north. What would be your guys's kind of not, sort of marching order? Both the axe speaks out front.
Yeah, usually.
And then are you going in single file with the sleds? Are they going kind of parallel?
I think we would go single file with the sleds.
Yeah, usually it's the 2 staggered in the front,
Mhm.
sled in the middle, and then I guess maybe single file with the sleds just to keep them.
Okay. Which sled is first?
Ours.
Yeah.
All right, cool. All right. So, making your way. You begin to head out. It takes you probably the better part of an hour. So as you guys are heading out, that temporary twilight has really kind of diminished. And you're pretty much leaving mid-afternoon. The darkness has kind of descended upon. Before you guys headed out, though, it was pretty overcast, but the winds weren't too bad for what you kind of used to, especially as you begin the trek and hugging along Meridunan and along the Lonelywood. It acts as a kind of a shield from the wind quite a bit. And navigation is pretty much straightforward since you're hugging along the the edge of the Lonelywood. I'm just seeing how far you guys get. So you proceed for about 3 hours, and there's no checks needed for this because the navigation is so simple. Without really much incident, you can hear kind of cracking and some kind of movement of the water and the ice on Mare Dulden. Kind of ever present, that kind of grinding ice sound. But other than that, you encounter no difficulties or any kind of creatures of any kind. And you proceed all the way to in the first 3 hours, you make it as far as there.
Okay.
You find that there are plenty of spots that are kind of frozen on the surface, with the ice is thick enough that you're able to get the sleds across the river. That although you can see that there's, pushing off the snow and whatnot, you can see that there's some of water that still flows underneath the ice. It's thick enough that you can ride across with the sleds. So after 3 hours, roughly around, you would guess, Filbert, about 5 p.m. ish, you ford across the river.
All right.
Now, are you going to hug back down along? Are you going to take the road? You're going to hug along the outside, of the lake still? Or are you going to head out into the tundra? What's your plan? Draw it on for me on the map there.
So it's like 5 o'clock.
Yeah, but you only have been traveling for 3 hours, so I mean, you've got...
Yeah, I was gonna say we can maybe go like another 3 hours or so.
Yeah, easily.
I
mean, you could go for another 5, really.
Well, I'll leave that up to the group as we're traveling. And I think for at least the rest of this day, I would follow the road back down south a little bit.
Freeze.
Okay. So your first hour, your second hour, your third hour, and if you guys decided to continue, we'll probably make it as far as there.
Be good.
Yeah, I'm cool with that.
Got some trees.
All right. So, you guys make it as you get to about here. I should say, excuse me. Come on, roll 20. Stop being. Make it about to there. In your 4th hour or so. Give me a perception for Thea, and I know your passive's 18, but give me and for you too, Filbert, since you're out front. Okay. It seems to be very quiet coming from the woods, and you get a bit of a lull even in the breeze and the kind of ever-present wind, and it kind of makes you a little bit leery. And as you continue on, very quickly the wind begins to pick up very strongly, and you can smell the smell of heavy snow on the wind. And within the next hour, next 15, 20 minutes or so, the snow and the wind begin to really heavily come down, and you feel a blizzard has kind of hit you.
These trees for the night, guys.
I guess this is as far as we're going today.
Okay.
I think suggest we take the sleds and kind of block off the winds so the dogs have like a spot to.
Thought we could put them in the tent.
We can.
Not all of them, I don't think. How many dogs do we have?
6. And then you've got
What is it, 8 for a tiny hut?
Verlaine's 2 live ones and 4 zombie ones.
The zombies don't need to sleep.
The zombies do not. Let me pull up Verlaine. Hang on a second. Let me see what she's got for spells.
It's 9.
9. Does she have magnificent mansion by any chance?
I don't believe so.
I don't think
Oh,
she's
she does
casting
have,
level
but she
7
does have
spells.
Lemon's. She does have Lemon's tiny hut.
Okay.
So she actually casts, as you guys go to set up, she casts it herself as well, and invites any of you who would like to, anybody who needs to have respite in hers as well.
How many creatures do we have total? 6. Axe beaks are outside.
The axe beaks are large, though. They won't be able to get into the tiny hut.
So you have 6 dogs from you, 2 dogs from in the lanes. You've got 6 of you as a party. And then she's got 2 kobolds.
And I have 3 animals.
Yeah, but they're all small.
It's by creature. 9 creatures of medium size or smaller.
Well, they're going to pop out of existence in the morning anyway. So. And they're kind of fey.
I wanted to make more room in my bowl.
Alright, so how many can you fit in Lemon's tiny hut?
9.
Alright, so you can fit the 6 party members and 3 of the dogs. And send 3 of the dogs over to Villain. Or you can send party members over to Villain.
Fuzzy companions or my companions?
Yeah, I haven't. I'm not going to count the weasels as a giant rat as a full. They count. They'll count as one altogether.
That's it. Game's broken.
They're not giant weasels. They're little weasels. They're. Remember Beastmaster, Pip and Pep,
Yeah.
Pogo and Togo. I think that was what they're called.
So we'll split the dogs 3 and 3. And then you guys can decide. My hut's over here. And I'll start casting it. I'll just cast it, not ritual cast it.
Brendan actually volunteers to go sleep with Villain to have a conversation about magical discourse.
And I will not go in that hut.
So if he goes over there, then you can fit your 3 dogs. You can fit 3 dogs, your creatures, and the other 5 of your party. And then in Villain's, she gets her 2 dogs, the 2 kobolds, Villain, and your other 3 dogs. And Brendan. Okay?
Sounds good.
That's 2, 4, 6, 9. Perfect. 9 and 9. Isn't that special? Okay. So you get the kind of little camp set up. Suddenly 2 little domes snap into place. One from Winzira striking and singing about how she's cold and wants a place to sleep. The other with a incantation that she pulls out a book and begins to chant and with working crushing some kind of component in her hand. Suddenly, hers springs up as well.
was so cold.
All right. So as you guys get inside, the sound of the blizzard suddenly gets much muffled. You can still see the wind, and you do hear some of the howling of the winds and whatnot on the outside, but it's blunted. It's very warm on the inside, so you immediately begin to strip off your cold weather gear as the heat is uncomfortable with all of that on. I won't make you take off your armor and all that since we haven't been doing that, but I was a dick. I'll be spending 10, 15 minutes.
Probably like the size of like this.
What is? I didn't need to hear that. All right. So, is anybody doing any kind of watches or?
Take first watch.
Okay.
Make that go away.
Third.
Kaz, and then Bill. Okay. And the other one, you've got Villain and Brendan staying up at first, and then two of the Cobalt, one each. Good watch. Okay. All right. So you guys all bed down, and Thea, you begin to watch as the storm howls. And go ahead and roll up your perception. See if you get something higher than your 18 passive.
I didn't click that. It was on normal.
All right.
That's enough.
You're rolling like a beast again tonight.
Oh, yeah. No me.
Yeah, you know me.
Mm-hmm. No G, no D. What are you doing?
Okay. So, Thea,
Yes.
as you are kind of set up there and you're kind of looking out beyond the light of the it is dark, so it's probably better that you did roll 2 and we use that 14 as your roll because of the disadvantage because of the darkness. But you can see some movement, a small, tiny little, something small, very, very small, kind of moving over by where the sleds are. And you watch it for a little bit, and you see something small walk away with something from one of the sleds. And it starts to kind of walk directly towards you. And when I say small, I mean small, like tiny. It is probably only about 6 inches high.
So that's what he's holding a fork in that picture, right?
Yeah. Almost looks like an animated doll as it kind of wanders. Now, you notice 2 things right away. It's walking up on top of the snow and like as if it's like stone. It's not making any indentation or sinking at all into the stone, into the snow at all. And the wind that's howling and blowing everything about seems to have no effect on it at all. You would think something this small and tiny would be hurled away, but somehow it doesn't seem to be affected. It comes up and it kind of is peering at the dome. Do you just look at it, or are you gonna do anything?
Hi. Something, sorry. I just was trying not to interrupt you. I'm going to, my head out. Give it a 10.
It kind of startles a little bit and it dances back a little bit from you. But it seems to look, it heads cocks one way and then another. And then it kind of looks up at, you can kind of like see it kind of taking into the shape of your head and whatnot. And you're just kind of looking out at it, right?
What? I'm not being hostile.
No? Okay. Where did my thing go? All right, so it kind of reaches underneath this little kind of poncho that it's made. It's for itself. It almost looks like it's made out of like husks from some kind of plant that's dried out, right? And it pulls out what looks to be a frozen berry, and it sticks it on the end of the fork, and it kind of holds it up to you as if offering you this frozen berry.
I will take it. Thank you.
It kind of bobs its head quickly, and he does like this.
Fuck it, I'll eat it. The worst it could do. I'm going to ask you.
It actually starts to dance around a little bit. And it starts to do this little kind of capering kind of little dance. Roll for me. Roll for me a D8. Is he a 2?
Yes, 2.
It pulls, that was tied kind of, one of the strings that it was tied, kind of holding part of it's together. It pulls off that, and there's kind of this little piece of carved bone. It looks similar to the mask type thing it's got on its face, but it's got this kind of a circle, a couple concentric circles carved onto it, and it holds it up to you in this little tiny little charm on a piece of string, and it comes close enough to hold it up to you.
Hey. Snow spirit. It's beautiful.
Okay. As you take it, it starts to do that little capering little dance again, and it just kind of does that for a few minutes. Not for a few minutes, but for a little bit, and then it starts almost like do cartwheels, and heads back off into the snow, and you kind of lose sight of it.
Dang. I wonder what it took from the sled. I'll go look over the sled, see if I can see anything obvious missing.
Not from yours. It appears like it was over closer to Valine's.
Okay. Well, I don't know what she has. That was interesting. Have I ever heard of such creatures before in my historical studies?
Go ahead and roll a history.
19.
There are folklore and legend in Icewind Dale with the residents there about elemental spirits that live, in the snow and whatnot. You believe that you recall the name Chwinga that refer to these tiny little things. Sometimes they bestow gifts. Sometimes they are kind of more nasty and can bestow curses. But it's usually thought of that they're kind of good luck once you meet them.
Yeah. My instincts were correct. A little bit guided by mind and heart yet again.
Okay.
Well, that's cool. Just gonna go back to voting intent. Keep watch.
The rest of your time passes without incident. Go ahead and roll an investigation on the charm that you were given. I'm sure that you would have looked at it.
Oh yeah. This is really pretty.
It's very interesting, yeah. It appears to be carved out of some kind of bone or almost like a scrimshod. It's very small, but it feels very solid. About all you got of that.
You wear like an earring.
Mm-hmm. Let me check one thing here. I don't know if it... Not helpful at all. So, okay, actually, as you look at the back of it, there's these circles are curved on the front, but as you look at the back, there seems to be some kind of ruin that is carved on the back of it. And as you hold on to it, you actually gain an understanding that the rune is the word bounty. And as you say that, that understanding dawns upon you, you realize that that this is a charm that grants bounty, and that it has 3 charges. And as an action, you can expend one of the charm's charges to cast the create food and water spell, requiring no components. It is a supernatural gift, so that is why you just kind of, after holding it for a few minutes, just know what it is.
Fancy.
And I had a berry.
Yeah, which was just a frozen berry. It actually was sweet and tasted nice. So let me try to throw that on your little thing. Hang on. Go ahead and as you like bed down and Kaz wakes up, Kaz, go ahead and give me your perception roll.
Well, the first one wasn't that. It was lagging on me.
You burned all your rolls.
Like, click play. I am super vigilant.
Okay. All right, it's on your character sheet now. I put it under. It's underneath to the bottom of your abilities, and then I put a counter for Charmer Bounty as well underneath your channel divinity.
Thank you.
Yep. All right, Kaz. Yeah, that was a lot of really good rolls that you used up there. So, hearing this story from Thea before she went to sleep about this little thing, you kind of are really looking hard for more of them. But as you begin your watch, the wind sort of dies down significantly, and the blizzard blows itself out. And actually, it becomes a bit clearer. So you're awake as you begin to see the Aurora Borealis. And you make out the presence of this very dark shadow, huge, kind of drifting across, blocking out the stars, out just ahead of this kind of aurora. And you recognize this as the giant rock that the Frostmaiden flies nightly as she casts her enchantment to keep the sun away. And that is what you're seeing with this aurora, with your 25 perception and your dark vision from hell. you're able to make out not so much seeing the rock, but seeing as it blots out huge areas of stars in the clear sky as it flies overhead, with the clarity of that post-blizzard crystalline air. And you actually witness. I think I got a thing for that. Hang on.
Look up, butter, fucking cunt.
Maybe I don't. I thought I did. Yeah, we'll show. We'll do it. Other than that, your shift goes smoothly. Nothing untowarded. And the calmness after a blizzard, it's pretty uneventful. Waking up and handing it off to Filbert, you're able to bed down. So Phil, go ahead and give me your Filbert.
19.
All right. Yeah, so you're pretty diligent after hearing first about the supernatural through the grapevine from Kaz, and then the fact that he saw what he believes to be the actual Frostmaiden flying overhead. You're very vigilant and looking to see, but you're disappointed with a very uneventful and boring shift at watch. And as you begin to rouse, as some of the people start to move around and whatnot, you guys kind of all get a rude awakening. As at 8 hours, the hut just vanishes, and the cold air rushes all back in.
Let's go!
I was already up praying, so.
Yeah, but you didn't put your cold weather gear on. But it doesn't hurt you.
Yep. Well, good morning, sleepyheads.
Ashala actually was the only one of you that didn't actually take off her cold weather gear. She actually slept in all of it.
Yeah.
But as the cold air rushes in, you can hear her kind of cursing and swearing and
Like that.
I'm not sure why that dot is out there. Oh, I know why, because
Yesterday was double weasels. Now we got a giant rat, makes its appearance again, a badger, and then a giant badger.
All right.
Zero's got him up.
It's badger time.
all right.
Did, honey bed?
Why is that not coming up? All right, so a giant badger's medium. So I would rule that you could ride it. And it has dark vision up to 30 feet. So if you chose to, you could ride it. Otherwise, it's going to have to run alongside the doom sled because you're kind of already at capacity.
I'll ride it for a little bit, and then I'll get on the sled.
Okay. All right. Filbert, show me the route you guys are planning on taking.
I was planning on just trying to go as best I could west by northwest. So trying to start off by cutting through the forest.
Okay.
And then...
So give me a survival as you leave to head through the forest. That'll be the first one. I'm going to try to hustle this along because we don't need to be dragging the shit out of this. All right.
27.
All right, so you lead them through the forest with relative ease. And 3 hours after you depart, you find yourself right there. Give me another survival so that I can see how you do with your direction out in the directionless kind of tundra, or featureless, I should say.
20.
Yep. All right. So are you going to be doing just 8 hours?
I think so.
Okay.
I think that kind of pushes the envelope for everybody involved. Dogs and us riding axe beaks and everything like that. 8 hours seems pretty good.
Okay. All right, so you guys set up camp, same as last night. You do the thing. Same sleeping order.
Yeah.
Go ahead and somebody roll for me a d20. I don't care how.
I gotcha. 6. 6, 6. The mark of the beast.
40 years old today.
Oh, really?
That album, yeah.
Nice. Came out when I was 1.
Okay. All right, so after getting set all up, you guys retire. mark off another day's rations, please, from the group as you kind of feed everybody out. The dogs are beginning to get their rest, although you've not pushed them to their limits, so they are not anywhere near exhausted. Are your giant badgers going to be outside the tent then? Outside the hut, Windsor?
I guess.
And are you giving it any instructions?
Growl if you see anything.
Growl. Very good.
I don't know what badgers sound like, so.
I think that kind of a growl is probably pretty accurate.
Yeah, maybe a little bit of a hissing sound mixed in with it.
I keep thinking of Monsters Inc. now. Right. Let's do this. As you guys are bedding down, it's 9 o'clock. Let's take our bio break, and I got something I gotta do real quick. Cool?
Okay.
Cool. We'll be back in 10 minutes. Hopefully it was worth it.
No, John watched boring videos about nerdy computer crap.
Nerd.
I know.
Good.
I know.
What you get for marrying a nerd?
Nerd.
Okay. So you bed down, and Thea, you take your first watch. It's pretty uneventful. There is, the snow begins to pick up towards the end of your watch. The wind is getting definitely a little bit more fierce. But again, you guys are comforted inside the two huts, and everything seems fine. You wake up Kaz, and he takes his turn. Kaz, you want to give me that perception roll?
Sure. 12.
Okay. You kind of are given a kind of a general overview, looking around here and there. And it takes a minute or two before you realize that you're seeing, you catch some movement out of the corner of your eye. And off in one direction, because you can kind of see through the entire hut there, you're seeing almost looks like a kind of an animal. It's hard to make it out a little bit at first because it's kind of white on white, and you've definitely got a full-on blizzard situation has descended upon outside the hut at this point. So your visibility is cut down significantly because of the blowing snow. And it's not until they're quite close that you notice what appears to be some kind of mountain goat out on the tundra, kind of slowly walking its way towards you.
Keep an eye on it. keep an eye on it.
I heard you. I heard you. All right. Well, as you're kind of keeping an eye on it, it is kind of strange that it slowly kind of continues to walk closer and closer to you. You can't see as far because of the blowing blizzard. You know, like your visibility is only about 30 feet out, even with your dark vision. But you start to see kind of. You don't recall there are any kind of trees having been around, but suddenly you notice that there are 3 pine trees just on the edge of your vision that you can see. And this goat continues to keep walking towards the huts. Winzira,
Yes.
you can kind of hear your badger starting to growl at you, and it kind of rouses you a little bit.
Shut up!
Go. It's growling at a goat.
Let me look up one thing I've meant to look up on the break, but I didn't have a chance. Hang on. Okay. I had to double check something. Goat starts to kind of walk through between the 2 huts and starts to make his way towards the backside. And the trees, and you now notice that they're close enough, are actually moving.
We've got some moving trees.
Shut up!
There's moving trees.
What happens in the wind?
Not in the tundra where there's no trees.
What? We didn't have trails out of our door, Cass! You're supposed to be watching!
Did watch.
Watch it come right up on us!
Goats and some trees.
Get up, everybody!
I don't wanna.
They're like flanking us, guys. Yes, get dressed.
I'm good. Let me know for an actual danger, and I'll go back to sleep.
As you guys watch, the trees are kind of dragging themselves through the snow pretty slowly. It takes them probably a couple minutes as you're watching as they approach, and they kind of go up. 2 go to the doom sled, 1 go to the other, and then they start to move and slam down into the sled and start slamming on the sled as the goat kind of stands there and moves to the distance behind them.
They try to first slam on the sled is when I will spring into action.
All right.
Alright, yeah.
Go ahead and everyone roll for initiative.
Thanks, Cass.
Hey, I fucking got you up before they fucking got to the sled. It's everybody else trying to say not to do anything about it.
What?
Seventeen.
19.
Come on, man. Will you just put it on? Now it puts 4 of them on. And it was doing so well until I got to combat. All right, so we got Kaz. Oh, we need to put what's her name on, and there's on. Hang on, initiative, initiative, initiative,
Played 3 PCs.
initiative. Oh, I got a lot more than that. And initiative. How can they have a 0 initiative?
They're trees.
Oh, because they have a -2 on their decks. So 2 plus the -2 is 0. There you go. All right, that's on brand. Okay. Alrighty. So, Filbert, you have been roused. And actually, Thea, you need to be back a little bit, still in the thing.
Coming out of the tent.
Yeah, I couldn't find domes. I mean, I had to build this map over the break, so. Hang on. They got 1 round in each attacking on the Doom sled first. So let me roll that real quick. See how they did.
The dude slid die.
And they got.
I mean, it did take out a bunch of people.
So that one does. It slams in. You can hear creaking and cracking of boards as the first one slams down into it. The second one also hits. Oof. Does 32 points of damage to the Doom sled between the two. Third definitely hits on Verlaine's sled, and that takes 13 points of damage. Let's see, 80 and 50. Okay. The Doom sled is definitely a little bit bulkier and brawnier. Definitely it was made by creatures who were looking to be more intimidating and warlike. Verlaine's is more, utilitarian and built for speed. So they've both taken some damage now. But Filbert, that brings you up in the order then.
Filbert, I think you're muted.
He is muted.
I am. Rebecca, with Tiny Hut, you can actually pop out of any spot, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
I don't think I can leave. Hold on.
Yeah, you can't leave. But I mean, like we can come and go through
Oh, yes, you guys can.
any part of the perimeter. Right?
Yep.
All right.
Yep, you can move. Creatures and objects within the dome when you cast this spell can move through it freely.
So 5, 10, 15, 20. And the giant badger is technically medium.
It is, but it was not inside when it was cast, so it cannot pass in and out.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yes, but it is medium.
But it is medium so that
Correct.
I can hide behind it.
Yes.
Uh, 17 stealth, and I want to take a shot at this one right here.
Which one were you shooting at? I'm sorry, the closest one there?
Yeah, this one here.
Passive perception's 10, so you're hidden.
All right, 22 to hit.
Oh yeah, that hits, baby.
And 22 points of damage.
With your force bow?
Yes.
All right. So your arrow slams in. You hear the splintering and cracking of, and I know that it looks like a regular tree, but these are pine trees, big pine trees that you would see up there. Not these type of, but I'm yeah, sue me. They didn't offer me another option.
Actually, I'll stay where I am, and I'm gonna drop prone with my white cloak over me and just drop down onto the ice.
Okay, so you are now prone.
Correct.
Okay, you are so marked. All right, that brings up Shala. Who is going to step out over here, 5 feet of movement, and why wouldn't she? I don't know why these are all. Okay, so she's gonna Eldritch Blast the bastard. But she also adds her charisma bonus, so she does 6 points damage to that one. And we'll fire a second one. She gets 2, yeah? Pretty sure she does.
Level 6 should be 2, yeah.
Yeah. She's gonna Eldritch Blast it again. And does 12 points of damage with that one. And because she can go back right in, she jumps back in to the hut and goes nana nana neener. Okay, that's the end of her turn. That brings up Thea.
I just realized something.
Go get him.
Alright.
I'm
I know you are.
Scorching ray, huh?
Yeah. Fireball, and now it's like.
Okay, so to hit 13, that hits just. So your scorching ray strikes out and hits it, and instantly it bursts into flames, and you feel a blast of heat almost coming off. It rises and it starts to flail about as it's now lights on fire, doing seemingly more damage than you would have expected from your blast.
Praise.
Did you just say praise?
No.
2 more rays.
Okay,
I get 3.
roll them.
It's on the other eye. I think I could see him.
No, you did a flaming spear. You didn't do.
I didn't mean
Yeah.
to use the spirit. Shit. Sorry, hit the wrong one.
That's right. Just ignore it and roll the other one.
10.
That one misses.
I can see through the.
18.
That one hits. And again, it seems to ignite. It now the entire tree seems to be in flames. Branches are kind of withering as you're even watching it.
Yeah.
Damn it! I was pretty sure there was a fucking random encounter one someplace on here. All right. Is that it? Or do you got a bonus action or anything?
In the tent over here.
Okay. Kaz, that brings up you.
Go big. I run out and go big.
Those guys are dead. They're on fire. Yeah.
I would give good money to know why the next button disappears from my turn order thing, and I can't. It just disappears. Anyway, so you go big.
Yep.
Okay. Come on, you piece of garbage. Oh, what I wouldn't give the plain person. Okay, you're big.
Now I'm in melee with both of them. I will swing twice. I'll start on the one that's on fire.
Yeah, you can sort of. You lose. You have to move over a little bit, but we'll do it that way.
In melee with both of them, so. Right.
Filbert, I think I just somehow knocked you out of the freaking.
Would I be able to go like there? Or.
Do yeah, whatever you want, dude.
Okay. I'm gonna swing on this guy. 19.
19 hits.
8. Slashing. 22 for 11 slashing.
As you go to chip in, your axe bites in, but it's tough, and it's definitely you're chopping wood, man, and you're definitely not doing.
I accidentally clicked the roll and clicked the berserker axe, so that should be 9 slashing and 12 slashing.
Okay. Again, you feel like, well, the fire was very effective. This doesn't seem to be as effective of an attack against.
And I'm going to second wind. Not second wind, axe surge, sorry. And I'm going to chop once at each.
Don't do that.
What?
You're trying to select the wrong weapon again.
So same one again. 17 to hit. Or 16 to hit. Wait, no. 16 damage. On this one. Oh, wait a minute. I gotta add. Make that 18 damage.
Okay. And what's the save for using the berserker axe?
Well, that's it. That's it. I get it.
I see.
Yeah. If I get it, then I gotta do the save.
Okay. So 18, so minus 9.
And one more hit, and I'm gonna hit this one.
Okay.
Hit?
No.
No? Okay.
Yeah, because there's only like 14 other people in the the initiative order who might want to go too. But you do take out that first awakened tree that was on fire, and your axe is enough to kind of cleft through some of the burnt out area, and you put it down. All right. Anything else?
That's it. That's all I got.
Okay. Okay, that's that guy. All right, the tree. It's going to ignore you, Kaz, and do as it was told and attack the Doom Sled. Just enough to hit. Another 10. And the other, we'll do the same on Valin's. Oh yeah, it definitely hits that one. 15. Okay. Winzira, you're up.
You got this, guys. I'm just gonna stay here. That's my turn.
All right. So the kobolds pop out, and they run up and stab it with their daggers. I miss. Hit. And hit. So 2, 3. I'm sorry, 1 and 3. So 4 points of damage. And deciding are they stupid enough to try to run away from it? No, they're gonna stay. Well, are they cunning? What's their wisdom? Hang on. No, they are stupid. So they go to run away. 2 of them kind of run back into the hut. But one of them gets an opportunity attack against it. And gets squashed into pulp. Actually, there's only 3. I got 1 too many on there. Okay. Is dead. Brendan. Will step out.
He's gonna try to give it a hug.
No, he's gonna try to chip it.
By giving it a hug.
Here in the bag.
Well, he's something more effective it was for when
He sees his passive perception. He sees the mountain goat has changed into a humanoid. For the rest of you who want to see,
Creepy.
and yes, we'll probably try to use some kind of spell, charm spell. Actually, no. Oh wait, no, he's not that stupid. Hang on.
He just woke up drunk.
Yeah, but he'd blow up the sleds. I was gonna say he could fireball it, but he would blow up the sled. No, he would try to do some kind of charm spell. So let's see. We'll say he casts Hypnotic Pattern. Okay, so he has to make a save. Is it a wisdom save?
Yes.
21 on the die. Okay, so he shakes off the hypnotic pattern. Brendan lets out a little eep and steps back into the dome. All right, Vlaine, on the other hand, steps out, sees what's going down, decides that the ant is the bigger problem, and pulls out a wand and shoots off. You know, it'd be really helpful if they put magic missile in here. She shoots off at second level. Force arrows come out of the end of her wand as she use it to cast magic missile. All right, so so all four hit for 4 points each, so 16 points of force damage dealt. All right. And she's going to also be smart enough to step in. That brings along the ice zombies, who she yells out to them to attack. So the ice zombies will move up. The cobalt zombies, excuse me, will move up to it, and they will attack with their... What do they have?
Was it Verlaine who cast Tiny Hut?
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
So when she stepped out of it, it disappeared, huh?
Yep.
It would, yep.
She would know that, though, wouldn't she?
She would.
She would.
Can you cast a spell out of it?
You cannot.
Yeah, magic doesn't pass through it.
All right, well, then I would say that I'm just going to retcon that. Sorry. I got too many variables going on. And she just yells, she uses her action to command the zombies to attack. So that's what they're going to do. Apologies. They try to stab it with their javelins. One misses, and the other one misses as well. All right. That brings up Filbert.
I will stand back up and then try to hide behind the badger again.
Okay, go ahead and roll that.
Uh, 17 again, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to take a shot at this tree over here. The one by the other sled.
Yep.
19
Hits.
for 26 points of damage.
Yeah, you crack into it, and one major part of the tree actually splinters off and goes hurling into the night.
And then I have 5 more feet. I will step back in.
Into the hut. All right.
Correct, and that's everything.
All right. Shala is going to rinse and repeat. Because if it ain't broke, don't fix it. which does another 10 points of damage, plus 4 and 4, so 18. Not quite as much as Filbert. Still pretty damn good. And then ducks back in. It's almost useless giving you guys a freaking fight with those huts up.
Depends on what we're fighting.
Okay. Thea.
Alright. Yeah, freaking right again.
Which one, Thea? Oh, the one right there. Okay, obviously. Yeah, obviously. I just saw where you went.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that hits.
Okay. And then again.
All right.
Wow.
Yeah, well, when they're vulnerable to fire,
Well,
it's still pretty good.
I did 2 damage though.
But
Well,
four.
Oh.
actually 4, yeah.
You're vulnerable to fire.
And 16?
Yeah, how do you want it to expire? I mean, you just did 32 points of damage to it.
Pew pew! Stupid tree! What you get for attacking the doomsday?
Okay.
Still very nice, like a wonderful campfire.
All right, Kaz. You are now standing in between 2 smoldering, burning trees and the sled.
And 15, 20, 25, 30. Right?
Yeah, you're gonna have to go through the hut. Again, although it's dead, you can't step over a burning tree.
Yeah, I went.
Okay.
This, I went.
Right on. As long as that's what you did, cool.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, you can move in and out of the hut, so.
Yeah, I was here.
Yep. Awesome, man. Cool, cool, cool. Swinging with the Berserker Axe?
Yeah. So that's 13 points of damage, and I will initiate. Huh? Oh yeah, and D6. 14 points of damage, plus I will initiate. So it needs to make a strength save. That fails though, and it is restrained.
Okay.
And 1d6. Hold on, let me look it up real quick. I think it's 1d6. 2d6 fire damage.
Roll it.
Roll it. 10 fire.
Okay. It burns into it and is now wrapped in fiery, burning chains that you can smell the charred wood as it scorches the bark and burns the needles of the tree.
And then at the start of this next turn, it'll have to take another 2d6.
Okay. All right.
Oh, that was my first hit. But I'm more hit. For 13 slashing.
Okay.
And then
It was restrained, so you can roll another one to see if you crit.
okay. Yeah.
Okay. So another 6 points. All right, but that is enough to snuff out its awakened state. The frost druid, seeing this, yells out, screams at you. You will never defeat the Frostmaiden. And with that, he slices his hand to draw some of his own blood, and he splashes his hand together, and he kind of flings it all out at you, Kaz. And he casts. Let's see. So I need you to make a dexterity save for me. Because as he does so, kind of a swirling maelstrom of wind starts to pick up, and it begins to pick up snow and rocks and whatnot, and a 40-foot high cylinder comes slamming out of the sky right on top of you.
16.
That is you make your save. So, you take 4 points of, I'm sorry, you take 5 points of bludgeoning damage, and you take you, for some reason, a dex save also halves your cold damage, so you'll take 8 points of cold, which I believe that gets halved as well into 4.
Yes.
And with
Wisdom save.
Yeah.
and with that, he pieces he kind of starts heading back out into the wastes.
Oh, god damn it.
Cool.
So amused that you're gonna start murdering him.
I am amused.
No, this one. He's amused.
I am too.
Actually, none of us are out. We're all in the tent.
He can still go.
Yeah,
back
but
in,
he
though.
can see in and out of the tent, and that is no. Now, meanwhile, I need to draw something.
Gonna start attacking the badger and the kobold.
That's difficult terrain. Okay. The trees are dead. The druids pieced out Wind Zero. No, you don't know. You don't know that Kaz is now a murderous rage monster.
Alright, everything's done. I'm going back to sleep. Good night.
Okay, Windsor gets back into bed.
Druid dipped out.
Snuggle next to the puppies.
The Icewind kobolds go out and drag the body of the smushed one over and put it underneath the damaged now dog sled. Brendan kind of goes out and he probably would take a pot shot at the fleeing druid. That's the kind of guy he is. What's he got? Let me just double check something. Let's see. Yep, he can see him. So he's gonna hurl a fireball at him. Druid needs to make a dex save. She's not proficient in. Fails.
Nice.
Why didn't it roll the damage? Well, that's a pain in my ass. What is it? It's 8d6.
Correct.
It rolled 222666125.
What is that? 2.
2, 4, 6, 12, 18, 19, 21, so 26 points.
Okay. Cool.
Oh yeah, it's right there. It's in the underneath the deck save.
Yeah, it's not showing on mine. It's literally blank.
If
Oh,
you
really?
scroll over it, it shows you the rolls.
Oh yeah. Why did it? Yeah, that's really weird. Yeah, it's 26. There it is. I had to highlight it. It was like the same color as the background.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
All right, so let me do this. So, ouch. All right, so that hurts. So he takes some damage there.
Yep.
Okay. And because he's Brendan, he would step back into the hut. Villain can't leave. So she's not going to do anything right now. Filbert, do you want to do anything?
I don't think I would have seen the druid even being there and then running away. So,
How long's your dark vision with your goggles?
60.
Yeah, he's out. You wouldn't be able to see him anyway. You would be able to see that Brendan kind of threw a fireball out into the darkness, and then you saw an explosion of fireball, but then that was it.
Is the sled in danger of catching fire from the trees burning next to it?
Give an investigation.
A lot.
No. In fact, the wind is kind of put out most of the fire. It is now just kind of smoldering. The damage to the sled that you can see is more from the blood, kind of a beating, like a bludgeoning, smashing.
Right.
And it is, both sleds are significantly damaged.
All right. I'm just gonna stay put.
Okay. Ashala also looking over at you, and Zira says, Goblin Girl, you're the only smart one here. And she kind of makes a bed back up, and she kind of gets back, bundles back up underneath the blankets and tries to warm up. Thea?
You can see and tell there's all the bad guys are dead.
That you can see.
Yep. Pop my head out and it's like, is the coast clear? What? What? Okay. I would to ponder what the fuck is going on.
As I'm foaming from the mouth.
I think
You are facing the opposite way.
I think that. Taz, is everything okay? Okay.
Just gripping my axe as I just fell free.
Is everything good?
I get an answer.
Gotta wait for his turn.
Yeah,
Nothing like calling yourself out as a target. Thank you for that. I got your answer right here.
I think that maybe the druid cast a spell on Taz. And making him all crazy like.
He hasn't done anything yet.
He's not answering me.
You also gotta wait for his turn.
He's just growling at me. I don't know. Here, Well, I might.
I'll give you go ahead and roll a perception there.
Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say, since you've only seen it once, and he hasn't even really done anything, it would have been a 20 was the DC to notice anything.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know that there's anything wrong with the axe, but I did see that the druid blew some blood on him. So as far as Thea's thinking, she thinks that he's got a spell on him.
Well, you wouldn't have been able to see that far. The druid was like 65 feet away in the dark. You wouldn't have been able to see him.
True.
You would have just saw this kind of, this ice storm kind of slam down on him. And now you've already seen one of your party members die from a similar spell, so you would have recognized this as a kind of an ice storm spell. You definitely would have recognized it, and having lost one of your other members.
My first character. No, that was Bren. I got you.
What was that? Was he was named Leroy Jenkins? Was that was Leroy, right?
Apple.
Yeah. Let me just. I'm just gonna charge right down this hallway. Leroy Jenkins.
You know what? I'm just gonna go over and check out the sled then. That's what I'm gonna do.
Okay.
And see if maybe I can kind of like. I mean, it's mostly made of bone, and then we did the wood to add on to it to make it better. So see if maybe I can fix it with some rope or.
We have supplies to fix it.
Oh, that's right. We do have supplies to fix it. So we'll start dragging those out. Start kind of checking it out and taking my time to look at it.
In your 6 seconds, yeah.
That's what I'm doing.
All right, Kaz.
Well, you said the kobold zombies drug the other thing into the hut, right?
The dead one.
That's what you said happened, but you left the two out here.
No, they the cobalt zombies would have on their turn just kind of gone back to their original spot. It's right there and there. And what it was the kobolds came out and dragged the dead one over underneath the front of the.
Well, in that case, I will step towards Badger and swing away. This is the closest thing to me. 13-inch Badger.
I have no idea.
Roll it at disadvantage because the badger had burrowed down partially into the snow. So it's like swinging at a prone. But you still hit. So you do 8 points of damage as you slice into the back of the thing. Now, don't you get extra a d6 on top of that since you're large?
Yeah, but okay, yeah, okay, 8. So a d6. Extra 1.
You hack into its back. It is bloody. It is beat to hell, but it is not dead.
Okay. Do second one then. Hits for 15 points.
Yeah, you with your second swing, you hit it at the almost the nearly identical spot in the middle of its back and cleave the thing actually in half. It kind of poofs in a kind of like sparkly kind of way, and pops out of existence.
And then it'd be what? That would be, then I'm out of the thing, so that's 20. 30. Because I see her, so I'm going for her now. Which I think puts me in the thing, so now I just see like everybody as soon as I step through it.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
You're large now.
Yeah, actually, you.
Actually, as he steps into
Won't
it,
be able
because
to go in.
he's allowed to go in, as because he was cast on the spell. The words of the spell say that now the tiny hut ceases to be,
Oh, that's right.
Thanks, Kaz.
and it pops out. And it pops out of existence. I can't. I use that. That's actually hard done on the map, so I don't have a thing to take it away. But now suddenly the cold rushes in, and now the living tiny hut is gone, like a soap bubble, pops.
It's cold.
You know what? I know how to do this. Hang on a second.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I'm standing over. Over.
Hang on. How do I do this?
Standing on Dilbert?
Yes.
Yeah.
right, then I can do this. It's not going to be perfect, but you get the gist.
Prevent bear? No. Nice.
Okay. That's hysterical. Fucking love it.
Now, with Filbert there, would that make me stop before getting to there, or would I have just stepped over him not knowing he was there until the hut popped away? With how small he is.
Well, is that the end of your movement? Would be on top of him?
Yeah.
Well, you just kind of get shoved to the side. Like you kind of came in, you banged into him, and you kind of get moved a little bit off of him, I would say. Here, I'll do it. There you go.
Okay. I'm just gripping my axe, foaming from the mouth, seething.
The frost druid dashes away. All right, Windzira. You just had your hut just get eradicated.
It's so cold. I'll just lay back down. Back up.
Your badger is bleeding and yelping.
Well, no, it's dead. It popped out of her. It's gone. It's off of this plane. It's back in the Fae.
I see how it is. I know how to deal with you. I'm gonna go move 20 feet, and then I'm gonna start digging with my remaining 10 feet of movement. And then I'm gonna start casting living this tiny hut for the next 10 rounds.
Okay. The goblins don't know anything about what's going on out there. Don't care.
Sorry. For my bonus action, I'm gonna move my little badger with me, and he burrows in next to me to keep me warm.
Okay.
I can't move him.
I'm gonna see if Brendan would even have noticed. Yes, he notices that the hut is gone. But he assumes that it is just Kaz being stupid because he's arrogant and thinks that he understands that it would have been because Kaz was big and giant form and tried to walk into the hut and made it pop, and he probably has a laugh about it. And I'll say that he would taunt you. So he kind of steps out and begins to berate you. He's like, ugh, Kazarine, you silly oaf. You should know better. You can't go walking in there in your large form. It disrupts the magic, you buffoon. And don't come over this one. You don't want to ruin this one. Actually, you wouldn't be able to come into that one because you weren't inside when you cast it anyway. So he steps back in. Varine tells her goblin, she instructs her kobolds to bring in the corpse so she can reanimate it. That brings up to you, Phil. Bert, who is now looking up at a Kaz who's still clutching his axe menacingly.
When we get the mouth.
Now, we've seen a brief moment of this before, right?
You have, I believe.
I mean, you did see him, like, slaughter my raptor.
Yeah. Bonus action disengage. And move back to there. And I will hold my action to attack him if he goes after one of our companions.
Okay. Cool. They don't do anything because they weren't told to do anything. Shaw jumps up going, "What the hell? You big oaf? Why would you do that? Are you stupid or something?" And what does she have? Does she have anything useful? Oops. Sorry. That was an accident. So, in a bout of anger, she casts suggestion on you. So I need you to make a wisdom save. And she says to go stick your head in the snow.
I saved. Of course you did. Grand Thunder?
As she realizes that her spell didn't work and you're probably pissed, she's like, "I was just kidding, I was just kidding, I was just kidding." And she kind of uses her movement to back up. She backs away. "I was just kidding, I was just kidding." All right. Thea? John, what's the way that you break this?
I have to not have anybody within 60 feet, I think it is. Let me see.
A creature or a...
Target with no creatures within 60 feet of you that you can see or hear.
And there's literally no other way?
Nope.
I mean, if he goes unconscious,
Right.
he's unaware of his surroundings.
Yeah, if it gets beaten down, right.
Cast calm emotions. Kaz, you need to calm down. I don't know what's going on with you. Listen to the sound of my voice. Breathe in.
The sun's getting real low.
Saving throw.
Yeah.
So make a charisma save. Oh, they just lost power.
Hmm.
Oh no!
Brown out. Oh. Have John roll real dice. Charisma. Save. Tell you what, here's a cursed item I'm not planning on ever on purpose giving to anybody ever again. It's like, what are you gonna do when you? I mean, you got. I like to keep the random elements in the game, you know. Now and again, but damn it.
See now. If I didn't give up the spell, blindness, deafness would have actually worked very well in this situation.
Yes, it would have. All right, so he fails the save. You got a 13. Oh, you got a 13 on the die. Is that?
That was 11 plus 2, they said.
What's his charisma? Oh, okay, 11 plus 2. So I would say that it stops him from wanting to attack Thea. I mean, does this suppression? Would you think this is a charmed or frightened? His axe. What do we think? Trying to look for the curse. Where's the curse?
Right?
Well, it all depends on what. Where is the freaking wording of the curse? I'm sure I put it on here. Oh, there's an actual exact question. All right, so I'll do this. I'll say that calm emotions since you're using it to suppress the effect of it. Kaz, it gives you another opportunity to roll your saving throw against going berserk.
Let me pull my character sheet back out again. Wisdom saving throw. Which is a 13, which is not 15.
You don't go berserk. You don't break the berserk any, but you also are not hostile. You're not berserk towards Thea for the duration of 1 minute, as long as she concentrates on it. She's outside of your berserk, so she doesn't have to get 60 feet away.
Okay.
You're indifferent.
But it is your go, and your badger is not there. Your badger is with Winzira.
I need.
Get buried under the snow.
I don't think you have my dark vision out as far as to be.
I had to change that. I'm sorry. Before, when it was a blizzard. Hang on. Let me change it back.
Okay.
120. Yeah.
Yep.
Sorry about that. Forgot.
All good. Let's see here. So I can't see anybody down here.
Well, and you can't see anybody inside the other tent because it's opaque.
Yeah. So which means Filbert's the closest person I see.
Correct.
Well, I'm also gonna, during my turn, I think something's wrong with him.
Well, I think everybody's got that at this point.
Which means I walk up and swing at them.
When he almost tried to trample on, rage trample, what's his name? Filbert.
Would I get my shot off if I saw him coming at me?
Yeah, because you held an action, right?
I did.
Yeah. I would say that a guy screaming at you in rage with an axe over his head to Hazan chop you. Do you get sneak attack though?
No.
No. So 14 points of force damage.
Okay. Oh. He's gonna take 15 points of slashing, I think, unless I don't think you have a 17, do you?
No, it's a 16, but I'm gonna uncanny dodge and reduce that by half.
He also is not calmed anymore because Silver attacked him.
Yep.
So attack number 2 for 11 points of damage.
Okay.
Oh, wait a minute. And another 4 points of damage.
I mean, maybe if you wanted to end the campaign, you could have just done it.
It was.
Oh, this isn't over yet.
It was a random table item. When you guys were offline, I was like, man, I don't know if I'd ever, even if it came up on a random table, I don't know if I'd ever give this one out again.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is awesome. I don't have to even freaking break encounters. I can just let you all kill each other. All right, Winzira. You're still in the process of trying to cast Lemur's Tiny Hut.
Yeah, that's what I was doing.
Okay. So you continue to do so. The Icewind cannonballs go out. They grab the body of this one and bring it back in for Verlaine. Brendan, I would say, just did notice that he's attacking. I'm gonna give him. He's gonna get an Arcana check. Yeah. Fucking useless elf. All right, so make a wisdom save.
Bam.
So he pulls out his book and casts, begins to weave his hands, and in front of your eyes, you start to see these swirling lights. And even through your rage, you're caught up at it. And suddenly you are charmed and incapacitated. For the next minute. Now, how long is it that you don't see anybody before you come out of it?
It's just as long as there's anybody within 60 feet of me. Period.
But do you have to perceive them?
Yes, I have to see or hear them.
Let me double check one thing.
So, yeah.
That's incredibly unhelpful. Can't take actions or reactions. You know what? Fuck it. You are in this state, right? You're kind of charmed, but all you're not here. So you're not seeing or perceiving anything around you for the next minute, as you are incapacitated. And it is enough to break your the curse. Because you don't perceive anybody. So after a minute, the spell fades, and you guys are. You see him kind of standing there drooling on himself as he's kind of just staring off, and Brendan walks up and concentrating on it, and he's like, "This ought to hold him until we can figure out what the hell is the matter with him." Does anybody want to do anything during that minute while he's charmed and drooling?
Can I bind up his hands?
Something?
Certainly.
Yeah.
I'm still doing my tiny hut
Yep.
because I'm upset.
I'm gonna kick his axe out of his hand and, kick it really far. And if he has his other axe, kick that away too.
So, Winzira, you have to have the people standing within the hut who can come into the hut.
Yep, I know.
Need to be close to you. So as the minute is, approaching, that you're casting it. Is it because it's 1 minute, right?
It takes, yes, because I used the spell slot.
Yeah. So do you want to say anything, or because you're kind of singing,
over.
so you're not able to actually really indicate, but you can move around.
I could. I'm just gonna go closer to Ashala.
Mm-hmm.
Right there, and I'm gonna finish my minute.
Okay.
My giant's might was worn off too. By the end of that, like before the end of the minute stupor, roughly what, 18 seconds before the minute.
You would what? I didn't hear you, John.
About 18 seconds before I come out of my stupor, my giant's might I'll shrink.
Okay. All right, so you shrink down. The hut pops back up, and I can't do it, like, I can't move it around, so I'm gonna have to, like, move everybody else around just to kind of cheat this a little bit. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna put you here, and put you there, and we're gonna say that you were here, she was there, and Filbert, you were just on the outskirts of it.
Yay.
Unless Thea would have somehow known to come closer.
No,
Okay.
he's trying to. Thought Filbert was helping me bind up Kaz too.
Oh. Well, you had a whole minute. It wouldn't have taken. I guess that's true. Filbert, you were binding him up. So you would have been outside of the hut.
Okay.
All right. So the hypnotic pattern ends, and Kaz is back to his normal hulking, semi-amiable self.
And tied up.
Although tied up. So you come to out of this stupor. Your arms are securely bound behind you. You're on your knees, and you're kind of like hog-tied. Your hands are tied back to your ankles. And you're not in a brothel this time.
You went crazy and tried to attack all of us, and you killed him through his badger.
Where's my axe? Want my axe?
You can't have your axe.
I need my axe.
For what? There's no enemies around. You just tried to kill everyone.
I will try to break out of this so I can get my axe.
Okay. Roll a. First of all, Filbert, give me a survival roll with advantage because Thea was helping you. Oh, dude. Okay, so you need to roll 25 on your strength check to break the bonds.
Nope. Just struggling.
Well, you would have gotten to do it at advantage if you were still giant size, but
Yeah.
so you strain against them, thrashing about, trying to get it, falling over even on your side as you're trying to, with helpless rage, trying to break your bonds, but are unable to get yourself free. Just slip out the back, Jack.
Someone's trying to kill us.
Make a new plan, Stan.
What? Don't you want to apologize for almost killing Filbert? Look at Filbert, he's hurt. This is unacceptable. Do you want me to leave you here in the tundra?
Whatever that druid hit me with made me lose control, but I need my axe.
No, the druid hit you with Ice Storm.
And then I lost control.
Brendan,
Yes.
come over here. By the way, I kicked his axe like over here.
Do you think it's safe?
Well, he's tied up. Come over. He's very obsessed with his axe. Maybe we can check this axe out and see. He's got his regular one, and then there's his new one.
He takes a minute and pulls out a pearl, and you see him pulling out an owl feather, and he kind of holds it over, and then begins to chant over the axe as he lays his hands on it. It takes him about a minute or so, and suddenly his eyes swing open. He's like, and he drops the axe down into the ground. He's like, "Oh, good Lord, gracious! No, that is a cursed axe. Yes, it is certainly magical and would aid him in striking his enemies, but should he take any injury from an attack, he could go into a mindless rage and attack anyone that he sees within about 60 feet of him."
Explains it. Get a curse on the axe.
All right.
Hey, could you make some sort of check to figure out where she would have to, where she should remove the curse, cast the remove curse?
It doesn't actually remove the curse. It just breaks your attunement to it. So you're not cursed.
You get to cast it on the person.
No.
No?
No. Look at the spell.
Object. Yeah. It's kindly remains curse spell. Okay, yeah. But yeah, kind of
No. It just breaks its hold on you essentially. Latender, please. Cast is up self-destruct for your life.
Yeah.
The cursed axe is broken his will.
So as you complete your prayer to Lathander, your hands begin to glow, and they kind of flow into the axe. And as it goes down, instead of the axe starting to glow like normally one of you or Blessings does, you see kind of this darkness kind of almost infuse along the axe. And the light in your hand seems to kind of go in, and at first it's being swallowed up, and it seems to get pulled into the darkness, and suddenly the darkness shatters, and the light kind of bleeds out and explodes out from behind it. And in that moment, your attunement to the item, Kaz, is severed, and your mind is clear, and you realize the hold that it had on you. It's almost like an addict who becomes sober and can see the hold that the drug had on him. And you have a choice. You can do what you will with it now.
Thanks. I don't know what that was.
I've got my pot. I've got my cup. I've got the lot.
Sorry. Didn't turn off the ringer.
I can think clearly now. I don't know what happened.
Well, you attacked Gilbert, and you killed Winzira's badger. And you would have attacked all of us, and all you could care about was that axe. It's cursed.
Curse or something?
No, I just removed its attachment to you.
I thank you.
If you use it again, you will become attached to it again. You should leave leave this accursed thing in this hellscape tundra? No good could come of a cursed item. You were ready to turn your back on all of us and slaughter us all. Then you would have awoken to nothing but carnage around you.
Again, I thank you for not allowing that to happen.
So we're just gonna maybe kick this under a tree, or
I think it'd be better to dispose of it in a way that somebody might not find it.
it's out here.
Obviously, wandering stuff. There's us, there's the things we just fought,
Trees?
and whatever was controlling them.
I just saw trees. And a goat.
It wasn't just trees and a goat. It was that goat turned into a humanoid, a being.
Well, I don't know, maybe we should ask Elaine what we should do with this. I'm sure she has a little bit more skill in cursed items than I do.
Haven't you removed its bond on me? Can you remove these bonds?
He kind of looks nice that way. I'm gonna take a little drawing first. Or...
Yeah, I mean, it's up to Filbert, right? He's the one who got chopped.
Well, Filbert's asleep already, so I went over and I laid down on top of the sled.
Well, if that's all I'm needed for, I also will retire. Best of luck to you all tonight. Try to stay warm.
That's for you, Gilbert.
Thanks.
Well, I guess I'll cut you out of your bonds, since Gilbert's in bed. When Zero locked us out. We're in timeout, apparently. Yeah. When Zero don't play that.
You kill my fuzzy? No.
Talk of the hand.
You're just too far.
All right. Well, everybody kind of bunks down where they can. You guys, the two of you, kind of make the best you can underneath the sled.
I'm pretty sure we have tents on the sled.
Yeah, we do.
Okay. So you take some time to set up some tent, using the sled as kind of a lean-to, and you trying to get the remainder of a night's sleep. And that's where we'll call it tonight, being it's 11, and we'll pick it up next week.
Sounds
Cool.
good.